I think once 5v5 has been out for a few more months, we'll really start to see some impressive competitive plays coming out.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about things that like really people haven't experimented in. That's the early game, right? Because at first people tried to like, oh, hey, let's get that little bit of an early advantage, and especially in that like level 1, level 2 kind of minutes, you go for the jungle invades, of course, right? But it seems like things like that just quite literally just don't work. Uh, and so once you've taken away that kind of early game dynamic, it's always, all right, who do we have that can get like maybe a couple of early ganks in the lane? How do we put in early pressure? Those are the kind of things that people are looking towards. You could also go the other way and say, okay, screw that. We're just going to play as defensively as possible. Maybe you take a couple of turns or two, but we're going to skill so much better than you that it doesn't even matter. And I've seen it couple of teams go for that kind of mid-range style, that mid-game focus, but not many. It seems like most of them are going towards like the one or two extremes where you get an advantage in that early laning phase or do it late.
Yeah, that's an excellent point you make there. We really haven't seen many mid-game compositions come out, mainly because a lot of those mid-game heroes actually have been banned as of late. That crawl, big mid-game pick. Rona has a big mid-game spike once she gets Serpent's Mask breaking point. There's just, these heroes are not only getting banned away, but you are completely right. These types of strategies that focus on the mid game are definitely not as prevalent right now. I would say honestly, the one we're seeing most of right now is probably that late game strategy.
Yeah, the late game strategy is quite big. The other thing I've noticed is that as you say, that late game strategy where people start to kind of go back, that's where picks like Celeste that start to scale and just do so much better towards that later game. Gwen's another prevalent one, as is Vox. But you also kind of notice on the early game side, though, it's kind of like two main different styles. When you play that early game style, you have to have some sort of dive, right? Whereas with the late game, maybe your roam's going to be something like an Arden or a Kroll. Oh gosh! Apparently we have the draft.
Yeah, we do have draft starting. We of course have that Taka first ban. We're not surprised about that. We did see that, followed by the Churn Walker, which is another one of those really strong picks that you see with a coordinated team, especially in 5v5, that damage distribution, very threatening. We'll see what this first pick coming out on the side. Tilt Rehab is here, and it is Grumpjaw. I definitely like that pick. What do you think of it?
Well, Grumpjaw, as the point I tried to make was that you kind of get a couple of heroes that are really early game and that can dive. Grumpjaw is the epitome of that. He comes in, gets attention bow, aftershock, the proc build is pretty well known on him, and that's what really pushes him. Fortress in that exact same position, all right? Except for he can kind of be a roam, but really two heroes that have huge gap closers and offer a decent bit of tankiness to follow up with it.
Yeah, Fortress right now does have the biggest win rate in all of 5v5, which is pretty telling. He's just a strong hero right now.
Go ahead.
We will further see what he does here, but we got the Kestrel pick. All right. So let's talk about Kestrel for a second. Kestrel is a really interesting pick this patch. Both her crystal power and her weapon power path. Weapon power is picked bottom lane pretty often because it's good into those really tanky bottom laners with that passive pierce. But crystal power has been starting to surge in popularity. If you get ahead in that early game with CP, you've pretty much won the game.
I've also noticed it played kind of weapon power simply due to the lack of really good weapon power laners. I mean, Gwen's kind of up there. Vox is definitely there. But Kestrel, being that high skill cap hero, really does kind of mean that whoever's playing her has to play her well, has to play her efficiently, and just basically kind of start to ball out. Samuel, he's one of the priority mid laners, so they're started to kind of fill out their compositions, going for the more carries. We do see a Krolben and a Lyra as well, so roams are going to be a little bit tougher here for Tilted Rehab than Source of Throws, as well. Alpha starting to round out the composition of Source of Throws. They've got a backline and they're starting to build a front line with Alpha and Fortress. That's a pretty scary dive.
Yeah, that's a really scary dive. With the band spaced out in this 3v3 format, it allows people to pick up some of those power picks. We see quickly Gwen and then Adagio picked up. Or Gwen.
Rona and Adagio.
Rona and Adagio picked up. That's, another really strong combo. Rona already has insane sustain. You couple that with an Adagio, that's a pretty dangerous combo. A Celeste picked up on the side of Source of Throws. That's a really strong backline mage. They'll probably be looking to something to complement their front line in this last pick.
Yeah, I'd almost be looking at for Source of Throws if they would probably just ban out the Arden unless Tilted Rehab does it for them, because if they can ban Arden, it stops a lot of the hard engage from Tilted Rehab. Yes, maybe like a Catherine is still left open, specifically if unless you of course want to play Adagio in that captain position. But by taking away that Arden, it stops the hard engage that Rona can have, and she's just a little bit less impactful. I mean, I think in this position right now, that would be their best option. Really, if you look at Tilted Rehab's kind of composition, though, they do have a formidable kind of push factor to them. There is that Arden ban, as I was just saying. But now we're just waiting for what Tilted Rehab wants to go on. And you have any clue what they're thinking about right now? Tilted Rehab for their last pick?
I'm not sure. I would say they're likely going to be looking for some kind of backline weapon carry, or maybe they might want to round it out with another tanky hero.
I'm thinking like a Grace or a Catherine, and as I say that, Grace. Yeah, there you go. There's that Grace.
Hard dive engage. That'll definitely round out a really solid comp for them. Samuel and Adagio on the backline providing heals, buffs, and damage. And just that Grump Rona Grace combo in the front gonna be very deadly.
Yeah, now this is what's also a little bit weirder here for us Source of Throws. One of the problems with not having the Arden is you don't necessarily have anything great to protect your backline, and oh god dang it, as soon as I try to make a point, they already picked the heroes. I was gonna say, like, sometimes you want something to stop a hard dive. So for example, if Grace comes in, maybe prevent the Rona or the Grumpjaw from following, and with it use a Baptiste, and that's exactly what's going to be picked up. So everyone knows who they're picking. We are officially into the actual source of Vainglory games. And players will be getting into this match, a best of one versus Tilted Rehab Source of Throws, and here we go.
Yeah, that Fearsome Shade is definitely gonna play a big role in these fights. The thing is, we're seeing a team from the side of Tilt Rehab with some really skilled players that likely do have those reactions to hit those reflex blocks on that Fearsome Shade. And we see the side of Source of Throws with not many other abilities that are Crucible worthy. So I think if they do hit that Crucible on the Fearsome Shade, they could potentially win the fight.
Well, if you want to talk about like game-changing ultimates, obviously, like the Verse of Judgment, if landed correctly, can do it. Fearsome Shade, as you said, is another good one. But other than that, maybe like a well-timed Oblivion. That's it. I guess you could say a hangry, but there's very few things that can just kind of turn a team fight on top of its head for really either team.
Yeah, absolutely. With both those abilities, reflex blocks will play a big role. We'll see who's able to better block these. From the drafts, honestly, I'm gonna have to put my money on Misfits, or Tilt Rehab. their draft is just very strong. They have a good combination of front line and back line, and they have the mechanical ability to back that up.
I do. Now, we're still having some issues actually getting into the game. We're queuing it again. We have everyone there, so I guess we should be getting to that soon. Anytime now. Any day now. So yeah, I mean, this is still should still be a good game. We're just, I guess, waiting for those queues. So, anything you want to say?
I mean, we'll definitely see some good play out of both teams here. These are both really solid drafts in my opinion. We'll see, the side of Source of Throws maybe has a few more of those like really big meta power picks right now, but I think the way Tilted Rehab's draft synergizes maybe gives them a little edge here. We'll see how that shakes out as we get into that game in just a second.
Cool. All right, so officially we're in the game, and the teams are lining up. And dude, look at those sweet skins. I gotta be jealous of the Celeste one in particular. I love Sad rocking that tier 3 Celeste, the Star Queen.
Yeah, that's a classic. Big Red showing off that new Anubis Baptiste. And no new Grumpjaw skin for Archaic there, but definitely some cool skin game coming out from both sides here. Tier 3 Fortress, one of my favorites.
So can we say that Misfits have officially lost yet? I mean, they don't have a Grumpjaw skin. GG.
Yeah, skins for wins. Good point.
All right, so I guess going into this game, we have, of course, Misfits running their composition. They're going to be the dives, and, well, Source of Throws, they're going to be the dived on, most likely. So really the question for me is, how do you protect Celeste?
Yeah, that's going to be the really interesting point. Baptiste, once you put him in the top line, if he isn't getting those stacks, he isn't quite as tanky. Looks like the side of Misfits looking to put a little bit of mid lane pressure on early.
They are. Low-key, forced to use a potion, doesn't have to use his reboot, so he's going to be okay, but for Misfits, at the very least, they get a free Crystal Tramp. There is no response thus far from Source of Throws, so now they're going towards the other side, hoping to get their Crystal Tramp, but that's already gone. And a decent gold advantage thus far for Misfits. These kinds of things, I was going to say that normally you don't see these kind of early game aggressions, but they forced Loki back, forced at most what would have been like a 4 versus 5, and essentially just free jungle. Did it fast enough.
Yeah, these rotations to the Bears, the Bears are very underrated camp here in 5v5. They give more experience than any other camp here. So they're actually very strong and not picked up by many, and we do see 2 good rotations from the side of Misfits to pick those up. Looks like everyone has gone to their lanes now. Misfits porting back for some early item boosts, and they'll continue from there.
Yeah, they absolutely will. So right now, I mean, I think this is just going to be a little bit more passive play. I'm curious if we are going to see any aggression. I think, at least for Misfits, it's going to come from Grumpjaw. There is a fight a little bit towards the top side. Big Red took a bit of damage, but he should be okay. The other thing is also how this bottom lane turns out. Ali Pearson, just barely being blocked, going to use the Holy Nova. Now there's some turn shots onto Akame. Eskimo finishing that off. Low-key carry, he has some mortal wounds on him. Eskimo jumps into the fray, stops off Low-key carry from really getting away. But he walks back into the enemy bush, is going to port home, and that's going to be first blood to the side of Misfits.
And Celeste is going to be taken down solo in that mid lane by Jazzville on that Samuel. They'll get a bit of farm off that, maybe push into the
Big Red. One more, that's it. You got it. Malco body blocking, and there you go. So 3-0 and just basically kills across every lane.
Yeah, if a team wins all 3 lanes early like this, they have pretty much won the game, and that's what we're seeing Misfits try to do right now. Just kind of really push in. Looks like they are invading on Source of Throws jungle right now, taking that gold oak. That's going to be a big swing to their side. Gold lead's already over 2,000 just 3 minutes in. That's pretty impressive.
The gold lead's important, but you know what else is important? Staying alive. Akame just barely doing that. The Drifting Dark, for some reason, didn't drift at all. Just call it the Dark. And now, here's a little bit of aggressions here from Misfits. They can kind of keep themselves in line. Jazzu forced to pop the potion, going on to Akame. There's the hit. Benediction gets the kill. Now Eli Pearson walking away towards his turret with a free kill. And this is just so good. You just see again, Arky getting another kill. Just across the board. Can he get the double? No, he can't because it's stolen by his teammate. Loki carried, gets stunned up by the Holy Nova. Now Loki. Yeah, he's just gonna low-key straight take some farm. Nothing happened. My teammates didn't die. It's 6-0. And this is starting to turn on its head real fast.
Yeah, these rotations coming out from the side of Tilt Rehab. Very dangerous. Keep getting tempted to stay Misfits. It's kind of a recent change. Maokai looks like he might be getting caught out here.
Yeah, no, he's in a ton of trouble. There's not much he can do. Oh, use a potion. That's definitely helpful. Sigardia, just one more, potentially 2 more shots. All just missing. Can he get out of this?
Oh man, it looks like he will get out of this.
Yeah, he will get out of this. In fact, Big Red, he's on nearly 1 health. Jasmine looking to close it out, and holy crap, that is just so sad for Source of Throws. You have someone nearly dead to rights, and now all of a sudden, you yourselves are the ones getting executed. Your fortress goes down. You're getting invaded. It's just such a bad feeling right now. And so I have to ask though, what do you think Source of Throws needs to do to get back into this game? Because it seems like nothing has been working for them thus far.
I think one of the first things they need to do is defend their jungle a little better. They're letting the side of Tilt Rehab kind of just walk in there and take their camps, and that's really detrimental, especially to the experience. If we're looking at the levels on the sides of both teams, all the damage dealing people on the side of Tilt Rehab are already level 6 or 7. They have their ultimates. Even more kills coming out.
Yeah, no, you saw that in the bottom lane. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but in the top lane, Arcade just used a Hangry. It was comboed up with Diversive Judgment for massive amounts of damage. I mean, really right now, every single lane is being pushed for Tilt Rehab. They've finally gotten that turret in the bottom lane, so I believe that is going to be first turret going over to Misfits. No surprise really there. And Arcade's still looking for more. Look at this. I love Sad. I mean, I think he's happy about, I don't know, yeah, no, he doesn't, he loves Sad, but Rad, he's going to be sad about Akame, he's going to go to his death as well. This is just kills across the board. I can't even make wordplay for how fast these guys are going down. It's very sad.
Yeah, it's a bit depressing looking at this. The side of Tilt Rehab mounting on an 8k gold lead, they're going to go right for Ghost Wing, just 50 seconds after he spawns. Maybe Batiste looking to contest here, but the side of Tilt Rehab is just too far ahead here.
They could be too far ahead. Oblivion lands. Oh, 2 people get it. That is just huge SMO getting that reset, so the reboot doesn't even come. There's no rebooting when you're already that dead. Solar Storm doesn't get it. So Kame, you're in trouble. I love Sad saving his teammate. Oh, Kame, what are you doing? You gotta be careful about this one, buddy. That might be a little bit too far. You don't have your turn. You don't have any turns. All tier 1 turns are officially down now. Akame is dead yet again, and I feel like it's deja vu all over again.
Yeah, not pretty at all. 11,000 gold lead in 7.5 minutes. I think a lot of this can be attributed to the rotations on the side of Tilt Rehab. These are really sharp. This is one of the teams that's been putting in a lot of work in 5v5. Even more than some of the top tier pro teams. They've been practicing scrimming almost as much as they can. They want to be one of the best teams. And the way they're playing right now, they're looking really, really strong.
No, they are looking incredibly strong. Right now they have Rona split pushing the side lanes and no one can deal honor on their own, while in the mid lane, they just kind of brute force 4-person combo is able to take down the tier 2 mid lane turret. Now there is going to be a gank onto Eskimo, but I'm not sure that they can really even get him before the turret goes down, and in fact that turret will go down. He's winning the 2 versus 1. Eskimo, what are you doing? This isn't fair, man. You gotta give him some sort of break. No! Holy crap, look at that damage. Eskimo getting the double kill.
600 damage per auto.
Yeah,
Disgusting.
no, that is ridiculous. Oh, Isla's sad. He's going to get jumped on by everyone over the wall. These are 2 turns going down. This could actually be a 10-minute game.
Yeah, I think it might be. It's almost like they're looking to finish here.
I mean, yeah, they very well could. Dude, look at this. Eskimo doing so much damage. RK hitting for 600. There it is. Now it's just basically get a couple of armories down, go for the Vein Crystal. That's really it at this point. There goes 1. Now RK, dude, look at this. This is ridiculous. They can sit in the front lane. Eskimo's literally just spitting on them. The red mist is going so red. You respawn, you're dead immediately. This Vein Crystal is going down fast. It's at half health, and I think that's going to be it. Rehab winning in literally under 10 minutes. That is insane.
But not before the side of Source of Throws is able to pick up 1 kill on them. That's gonna steal their perfect game.
Oh, so sad.
Yep, Esme dying that once, still a really impressive showing from the side of Tilt Rehab. Just kind of a destruction of the game there.
Yeah, that was kind of a destructive game. That was probably the biggest stomp I've actually ever seen, and I'm not kidding. Like, I've watched a lot of Vainglory, played a lot of Vainglory. That's in like literally lower than Saw push comp territory. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, pretty impressive playing there. Nearly a 16,000 gold lead at the end of that game. Very impressive.
All right, so yeah, that's going to be 1 towards Tilt Rehab. That's it. I'm pretty sure.
Yep, best of 1.
Yeah, best of 1. Yeah, all right. Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone.
It's been fun. Thank you very much for tuning into my first NACL cast. I hope that my co-caster here did enjoy it. I can say that it was definitely a little bit quick, but you know what, Yames? It's been fun.
Yeah, it's definitely been fun to cast with you tonight.
Right.
You did a great job. It was fun casting with you. That was a short little game to cast, and